So why would you want to do this? Why would you want to try and live a waste-free life? Well, there are a few really obvious benefits. One is that it can save you quite a bit of money. Two, it can significantly improve your health through the quality of the food you're eating. And three, it saves a lot of trash and environmental degradation. And the trade-offs really aren't that significant, certainly not as significant as they seem at first. The first major one might be having to forego potato chips. I do miss them, but I don't think my cardiovascular system does, so I very rarely eat them. I don't buy them anymore. If they're open at a party somewhere, I'll have a few and enjoy some. And other than that, what else is gone from our house? Things like saran wrap, pretty much disposable anything. So a lot of convenience foods that you may be accustomed to, you have to find another way to make them. But that generally involves using whole foods. That's my cat's tail. Yeah, cat food's another problem that we haven't been able to sort out yet. We're still getting it in a package that has a plastic liner that can't be recycled easily. So we actually use that as our garbage bag. So that leads us in pretty well to. I'll show you our garbage bag. We started our challenge originally with a normal sized garbage pail and tried to go 1 month. And after the first month, that proved to be not too challenging, so we upped that to 2 months and then 3 months, and that went well. And then we decided to downsize our garbage bag, which like I mentioned is the cat food bag. And now this takes us generally 2 or 3 months to fill one of these. And it's basically full of little odds and ends that you just can't recycle. Bits of plastic and wax paper, and if someone mails you something and has tape on the package and you had no control over that. So that was the original challenge, and it's a great focal point because you see it and you can just mark it at the start of the month. You start with a new bag and then see how long you go till your garbage is full. Some tips that will to help you actually accomplish this. One, if you're not already composting, that's the place you have to start, because if your garbage is going to be sitting around for a month or two, you can't have anything in it that rots. So we have an enormous compost bin. We're mostly vegetarian here. And so just all the leftovers from juicing and cooking and all of that stuff goes into the bin, and then we'll go outside and into the compost. If you're a carnivore and like to eat meat, people generally don't like it if you put meat in the compost because it can get stinky and attract vermin. So there's some pretty good reasons for not doing that. What you can do is just go dig a hole in the ground and bury it, and as long as it's underground, it'll turn back into soil without causing anyone or your neighbors any grief. So compost is step one. Step two is start thinking about buying things in bulk. When you do that, you can bring your own bags and fill them up at the store. This drastically cuts down on packaging waste, and you end up having to buy whole foods. So it takes a little more forethought, thinking ahead, but I'll show you in a minute what our cupboards look like. Once you get really well stocked, the thinking and the mental effort actually goes down quite a bit, because you stock up on all your dried goods, and then you're set, except for when you run out, which is rare because everything's so well stocked. Some other things, as you get further and further into this path, you end up having to make more and more things, because almost everything in our consumer society is packaged. So some things you just can't get away from, but they're actually fairly easy to make, and they turns out to be a lot of fun, and you develop your skillfulness. Some examples that we've made are laundry soap. Figured out how to make probably enough laundry soap for 6 months for about $10. So it takes maybe an hour or two of your time and saves you a ton of money. along the way. Other things is actually you may want to consider growing some of your own food. This saves an enormous amount of packaging, and then you end up with incredibly fresh food right out of the garden, and it doesn't get any better than that. We started canning a whole bunch, and I'll throw up a link. So you can see a little webisode of Lisa and I canning about 700 pounds of fruit and vegetables. That was a couple of years ago, and this allows us to eliminate a lot of the recycling from our lives. So all the canned stuff, which there may be some real health problems with the plastic liners in cans. So it allows you to just avoid that whole hassle of expensive canned food. So I'll bring you to the kitchen and show you some of the things we've done in here to make it work. So we'll start under the kitchen counter. These are our biggest bulk bins. I got these buckets used off of Craigslist. They're food safe, and the lids that come with them are normally really difficult to take off, but I found these aftermarket lids that have a snap-on ring, and then this inner lid that comes off, and inside you can see we've got a whole sack of oats. That one bag of oats was maybe $30, and it'll last Lisa and I the whole winter. It'll be breakfast all winter for $30, organic, and it comes packaged in a paper bag that you can recycle. Mason jars are your friends. You can buy them once and reuse them virtually forever. Lisa's got some that were her grandma's. And so this is just a shot of our counter and a few things that we use frequently. Borrowed a labeler from the office and labeled everything, and it's right there so you know when you're getting low on something. And you've always got a pretty good supply of all your common staples. This is a shot of another one of our storage cupboards. These are all 1.5 liter mason jars, labeled with things like beans and lentils and all kinds of things. Coconut, sugar, flour, barley, split peas, and some overflow. This sort of storage is really ideal. It keeps all the bugs, if you have any problems with like little moths or little worms or anything like that, it keeps them out, and if things happen to come with them, it keeps them in, so you don't have to worry about them spreading. Another thing you can do is reuse your existing plastic bags. All it takes is a little rinse, and once they're damp you can just stick them on one of your cupboard doors, and they'll mostly drip dry and air dry, and then they're ready for your next trip to where you can buy bulk things without any packaging. It gives people a moment to pause when you pull out your own bag and hand them one. I did this the other day down at Terra Breads, and the girl actually gave me the loaf of bread because no one had ever brought their own bag to put the bread in. So it challenges people's thinking and gets them, sort of wakes them up out of their usual routine, which is a pleasurable thing to do. Occasionally some people get irritated, or some companies actually have policies against this. Customers shouldn't bring their own stuff. I suppose for food safety issues, people just trying to cover their back, but most people are willing to do it. It's certainly not a big deal, but makes a big difference to your garbage at the end of the month. So that's about all the tips I've got today for living a waste-free life. I hope you enjoyed this short video, and I'd love to hear your comments, feedback, or video responses, so please leave them down below. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you next time.